Chosen one. You did not arrive here by coincidence. Heaven aligned this moment with precision, drawing you into a divine appointment, sealed before time. Anointed one, you are standing at the threshold of a supernatural shift, a financial breakthrough, a flow of provision that has been waiting for your spirit to awaken. What you are about to hear is not information, but impartation. As Scripture says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness cannot overcome it. Today, that light is igniting your transformation. Prepare your spirit. The revelation of your crystalline ascension has begun. Chosen one. There comes a moment in every life marked by heaven, a moment when the very structure of your being begins to shift. Not metaphorically, not emotionally, but spiritually, cellularly, and prophetically. You have stepped into such a moment. What you are experiencing is not coincidence or confusion. It is divine recalibration. You are moving from density into clarity, from carbon into crystalline, from survival into spiritual sovereignty. This transformation is not imagined. It is not symbolic. It is not a phase. It is the unfolding of a heavenly upgrade that was written into your destiny before time measured your existence. When higher light enters your life, it does not simply soothe your emotions or calm your fears. It restructures you. It reaches into your thinking, your nervous system, your habits, your relationships, your perception of money, purpose, and identity. Heaven does not inspire you. Heaven rewires you. I speak this with authority because I have walked this path myself. I remember the nights when light pushed against the walls of my soul, demanding space, demanding surrender. I remember waking up with a pressure inside my chest, not a burden, but a birth. It felt like something ancient and luminous was rising inside me, something that refused to be hidden under old limitations, trauma, or past versions of myself. What I thought was breaking was actually breaking open. Chosen one. What is happening in you now is the same awakening. You are being shaped into a vessel capable of carrying far more spiritual voltage than ever before. Like gold refined by fire, your body is undergoing a purification that allows it to hold higher frequencies of light. A crystalline design is forming sharper, clearer, capable of transmitting light rather than merely absorbing it. This is the architecture of those chosen for higher assignments, those entrusted with greater influence, revelation, and divine resources. This transition is not only spiritual, it is physical. Your cravings are changing, your emotions are surfacing, your intuition is sharpening. Old habits feel heavy, old relationships feel mismatched, old environments feel suffocating. You are not losing yourself, you are losing versions of yourself that cannot cross into your next dimension. You are not becoming sensitive, you are becoming selective. You are not distancing from others, you are rising to a frequency where not everyone can breathe. The crystalline shift brings both clarity and disruption. You begin to sense when something is misaligned long before your mind understands why. You feel the weight of other people's energy. You feel guided towards silence, purity, nature, and intentionality. This is not withdrawal, it is ascension. You are transitioning out of density, out of the vibrations of fear, lack, confusion, and chaos, into a higher form of being. Heaven is preparing you for spiritual stewardship. The light entering your body is the same light preparing your path, your finances, your calling. For the divine wealth transfer that approaches requires a vessel strong enough to carry it. Wealth in the hands of someone unaligned becomes a burden, but wealth in the hands of a spiritually ascended one becomes a weapon of purpose. That is why heaven is transforming you first, so that what comes into your hands will not destroy you, distract you, or dilute you, but flow through you with clarity and conviction. Your crystalline awakening is not a mystical idea. It is sacred preparation. Your spirit is being elevated so your outer life can expand without collapsing under the weight of blessing. Yes, the physical symptoms have been real. Fatigue, sudden heat, emotional waves, random aches, spiritual restlessness, vivid dreams, unexpected clarity. These are not signs of sickness. They are signs of spiritual ignition. Your body is shedding density, releasing spiritual debris, expelling frequencies that kept you grounded in old cycles. You are becoming luminous from within. You are moving into a state where you can carry revelation without fear, abundance without shame, purpose without hesitation. This transition is both awakening and warfare. The old world pulls, the new world calls. Doubt whispers, destiny roars. But chosen one, the fact that you are here proves that you are ready. You have survived the breaking. Now you are stepping into the building. Your transformation is real. Your emergence is unstoppable. Your assignment is rising. Heaven is shaping you into someone your old life cannot contain, and in that becoming you will soon discover why you, among millions, were chosen to carry this crystalline light. Chosen one, as the crystalline awakening continues to unfold within you. Heaven begins to rearrange every dimension of your inner world. What you once called life as usual is no longer possible because the frequency of your spirit has risen beyond the frequency of old patterns. This is not loss. This is divine recalibration. When heaven elevates you, it must also separate you not as punishment, but as positioning. You may have noticed it already, people fading conversations, feeling hollow environments, no longer fitting the shape of your spirit. You sense a distance you cannot explain. You feel an inner shift that has nothing to do with mood and everything to do with destiny. When your light begins to intensify, anything that thrives in shadows can no longer remain near you. Not because you reject them, but because your spirit no longer resonates with them. Chosen one. This is the hidden cost of ascension. The higher you rise, the fewer energies can rise with you. There comes a moment in every spiritually anointed life where heaven says, "Come up higher." Not as suggestion, but as command. This is the moment you are living in. The crystalline transformation within you is expanding your spiritual capacity, and heaven will not allow old attachments to sabotage what you are becoming. Your spirit is being fitted for higher assignments, divine alignments, and supernatural timing. That means everything misaligned must fall away. Everything that drains you must be removed. Everything that pulls you backward must lose access. You may feel this as loneliness, but it is actually clarity. You may experience it as emptiness, but it is actually expansion. Even the silence you've been walking through is not absence. It is a spiritual vacuum heaven uses to remove noise, so you can finally hear instruction. You are not stepping into isolation. You are stepping into consecration. The crystalline body requires stillness, focus, and purity. Heaven must refine your atmosphere before it releases your next assignment. And yes, the spiritual sensitivity increasing within you is part of this shift. You are noticing things you used to overlook. You feel dishonesty before it is spoken. You feel the heaviness of a room before anyone enters it. You sense intentions, energies, motives, not because you are suspicious, but because your spiritual receptors have sharpened. What others call intuition, heaven calls discernment. Anointed one. This is why the world has started feeling too loud. Your spirit requires a new environment to grow. Crowded spaces now exhaust you. Small talk drains you. You crave depth, truth, and the presence of the divine. You feel pulled toward solitude, not as escape, but as alignment. Heaven often speaks in whispers, and your soul is finally quiet enough to hear. And yet this sensitivity is not weakness, it is preparation. This crystalline awakening is building your capacity to carry divine wealth, influence, and revelation. And heaven must ensure your vessel is stable before the transfer arrives. This is why your spirit reacts so strongly to environments that dishonor your growth. You cannot carry light while standing in shadows. You cannot hold abundance while surrounded by energies that deplete you. You cannot rise while chained to what refuses to grow. This is also why your emotions have intensified. Not to overwhelm you, but to empty you. Old grief is surfacing because joy must take its place. Old wounds are resurfacing because healing must replace pain. Old fears are breaking because courage must fill the space where fear once lived. Your tears are not breakdowns, they are baptisms. Your exhaustion is not weakness, it is spiritual renovation. Your discomfort is not punishment, it is stretching for elevation. I speak to you with the authority of someone who has walked this road. I know what it feels like to outgrow a life that no longer fits. I know the ache of releasing what once felt familiar. I know the confusion of walking blind into a calling you cannot yet see. But I also know the beauty of emerging into a season where everything suddenly makes sense, where the heaviness lifts, where the instructions become clear, where the right people find you, where resources begin to flow, where doors open without effort. Chosen. One, heaven is aligning you for that season. The crystalline transformation is step one, preparing your inner world for the divine assignments that will follow. The spiritual elevation happening inside you is not isolated. It is connected to a larger divine timeline. Soon, you will understand why the separation was necessary. Soon, you will see why you had to be emptied before you could be filled. Soon, you will recognize that the quiet around you was heaven clearing space for destiny. You are not being stripped, you are being streamlined. You are not being diminished, you are being refined. You are not being forgotten, you are being focused. And in the next part, Chosen One, we will go deeper into the prophetic purpose behind your awakening, why heaven chose this exact hour to separate you, elevate you, and prepare you for divine stewardship. Chosen One, when a soul is marked by heaven, their life no longer follows the patterns of the ordinary. Nothing unfolds randomly, nothing moves without purpose, and nothing shakes you unless heaven has allowed it as part of your refinement. What you are experiencing in this season, the heightened sensitivity, the emotional eruptions, the inner expansion, the uncomfortable separation from your old world, is not a phase. It is not instability. It is not confusion. It is divine recalibration. Your crystalline awakening is not a poetic metaphor. It is a spiritual operation, a heavenly reconstruction that begins at the deepest level of your being. Heaven is preparing you for an assignment far greater, heavier and holier than anything you have ever carried. And when heaven prepares someone for impact, it always begins with the internal architecture. Everything inside you is being rewired to withstand a bigger mantle. Everything you feel is a sign of spiritual construction. Everything being removed is a sign of spiritual promotion. Everything falling apart is making room for everything rising within you. Chosen One. The shift inside you is not subtle, nor is it meant to be. Heaven does not whisper when it is time for a chosen vessel to awaken. It shakes, it stirs, it disrupts. The old version of you, the denser carbon-bound version, cannot carry what the crystalline version of you must carry. That is why your identity has felt like it was unraveling. Why familiar places now feel foreign. Why familiar people now feel misaligned. Why you can no longer tolerate what once felt comfortable. You are not losing yourself. You are meeting your true self, the self that was hidden under trauma. The self that was dimmed to survive rooms that were too small. The self that heaven protected until you were spiritually mature enough to handle your own power. You are encountering that version of you, now the ascended self, the crystalline self, the luminous self. And this encounter demands separation. When your frequency rises, anything that cannot rise with you naturally falls away. It is not rejection. It is resonance. You are not walking away from people. You are walking toward your calling. Heaven is isolating you not to punish you, but to position you. Every chosen vessel goes through a season of divine hiding, a season where the world cannot understand them, and they, in turn, cannot return to who they once were. This is not exile. This is consecration. The silence you feel around you is not emptiness. It is sacred construction. Heaven is building in the unseen. Heaven is rearranging you without announcing it loudly. Heaven is refining you without asking for your permission, because divine assignments are not voluntary, they are inherited. You did not stumble into this awakening, you were summoned into it. As your crystalline frequency strengthens, your spiritual receptors sharpen. You begin to feel intentions instead of listening to explanations. You start sensing truth before hearing it. You detect dishonesty without evidence. You know who is aligned and who is not through reasoning, but through resonance. This is not paranoia. This is preparation. Heaven is increasing your discernment because your next level requires spiritual accuracy. Your calling will not operate in ordinary environments. It will operate in high spiritual climates, where deception tries to imitate truth and distractions masquerade as opportunities. Your crystalline awakening is arming you for clarity. And understand this deeply, chosen one. Heaven does not increase your sensitivity unless heaven is increasing your responsibility. The crystalline structure forming within you is the spiritual infrastructure required to steward influence, wealth, revelation, and authority. You cannot carry divine assignment with a humanified nervous system. You must carry it with a crystalline one, a system capable of transmitting light, not just holding it. You are becoming someone who can handle abundance without becoming corrupted by it. Someone who can carry revelation without becoming prideful. Someone who can receive supernatural resources without losing spiritual grounding. Someone who can walk into dark places without being swallowed by them. This preparation is not gentle, but it is holy, and it is necessary. Chosen one. When heaven prepares to shift you into a new spiritual timeline, the signs do not whisper, they thunder softly inside your soul. They do not appear in the outer world first. They emerge within you as subtle rumblings, as quiet revelations, as unexplainable urgencies. What you are feeling in this season is not instability, it is divine activation. You are being summoned into alignment with a purpose that has been waiting for you since before your birth, a purpose written into your spiritual DNA long before the world ever named you. There is a moment in the life of every chosen vessel when destiny stops being an idea and begins becoming a pressure, a sacred tightening that pushes you away from complacency and toward assignment. You have entered that moment. The crystalline awakening unfolding within you is heaven's way of saying, prepare yourself. Something has been released in your timeline. You are stepping into a level of visibility, impact, and responsibility that your older self could not have carried. The first sign that your divine assignment is near is the rising tension in your spirit. Not anxiety, but an internal stretching. You wake up with a sensation that something is shifting, even if nothing around you has changed. Your spirit feels alert, restless, alive. It is as though heaven has placed you on the edge of a threshold and your soul knows the door is about to open. This is why you feel unable to go back to old routines, old environments, old conversations. You are not bored. Your spirit has outgrown that frequency. Another sign is the collapse of what once felt stable. Assignments often arrive disguised as endings. Relationships dissolve. Plans fall apart. Paths you thought were certain suddenly vanish. And while your mind may mourn these losses, your spirit recognizes the truth. Heaven is clearing space. The old structures cannot support the weight of the new mantle. Just as a tree must shed its leaves before new fruit appears, your life is shedding anything that cannot nourish your next season. Chosen one, pay close attention to the sudden influx of dreams, visions, and intuitive flashes. When an assignment draws near, heaven begins to communicate through symbolic language. Your dreams become vivid, your inner knowing intensifies, and your spirit picks up messages that bypass logic. This is heaven rehearsing the rhythm of revelation with you, training you to see beyond what your physical eyes can perceive. Your spirit is becoming multilingual, capable of understanding the language of signs, nudges, and spiritual impressions. Another undeniable marker is the collapse of your tolerance for anything misaligned. You no longer have the energy for shallow conversations, half-hearted commitments, or relationships without purpose. Even your body reacts, feeling discomfort in spaces where your spirit does not belong. You find yourself unable to fake enthusiasm for things that no longer serve your growth. This is not you becoming distant. This is heaven creating distance between you and anything that could sabotage your next level. Heaven protects what heaven promotes, and you are being protected by being relocated internally. And then there is the pressure, the divine pressure that feels like being stretched from the inside. It is not pain, it is not fear. It is a spiritual expansion, like your soul is being upgraded to handle the weight of destiny. You feel this pressure in your chest, your thoughts, your emotions. It is the sense that something is about to happen, even when you cannot name what it is. This pressure is the final preparation before activation. It is the last inhale before heaven speaks the next word into your life. Chosen one. Everything you are experiencing is heaven's way of saying, your hour is near. The divine assignment written for you is rising from the shadows into visibility. You are being prepared, even if you cannot yet see what for. You are being stretched, even if you cannot yet see why. You are being awakened, even if you cannot yet see the full path. But the signs are clear. Your calling is approaching. Your mantle is ready. Your soul is aligning. And heaven is about to shift you into motion. Chosen one, before any divine assignment manifests in the physical realm, there is always a war in the spiritual realm. Always. What you're feeling inside right now, the pressure, the heaviness, the sudden waves of emotion, the strange fatigue, the heightened sensitivity, is not random. It is not weakness. It is not regression. It is the unmistakable sign that heaven is preparing to elevate you. And elevation always stirs warfare. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because you are finally doing something right. Every time heaven gets ready to move you into a new dimension, your spirit senses it before your mind understands it. Your internal world starts shifting. Your old identity loosens its grip. Your comfort zones crack. Your soul becomes too big for the life you once lived. And when that happens, the inner battles intensify, not because you are losing your way, but because you are stepping into alignment. Chosen one, breakthroughs always begin with breaking. Promotion always begins with pressure. Awakening always begins with agitation. Crystalline transformation always begins with collapse. You can feel the friction. A version of you is dying and a new version is being born. This is why you may feel like you are standing between two worlds, too evolved for your past, but not yet fully settled in your future. Heaven calls this space transition, but spiritually it feels like tension, heaviness, or emotional chaos. This is the sacred invisible war that happens before destiny becomes visible. One of the clearest signs that your elevation is imminent is that the old triggers you thought you conquered suddenly reappear. The emotions you buried resurface. The fears you silenced start whispering again. The insecurities you outgrew try to find a foothold. Not because they have power over you, but because your spirit is uprooting them completely. Heaven will never allow you to enter a new spiritual timeline carrying old spiritual wounds. The war feels fierce because the cleansing is deep. This is the refining fire Scripture speaks of, not a punishment, but a purification. When gold is heated, the impurities rise to the surface. What you're experiencing emotionally is simply the impurities of your past rising so they can be removed. The pain you feel is not the sign that something is breaking you, it is the sign that something is breaking off you. Another sign the battle intensifies before elevation is the sudden feeling of exhaustion, not normal tiredness, but spiritual depletion. You wake up tired. You feel drained for no clear reason. Your body wants to rest, even after doing nothing. This is not laziness. It is spiritual reprogramming. Your energy is being pulled inward to fuel transformation, not outward to maintain old patterns. Fatigue in this season is not your enemy. It is your indicator. Your spirit is trying to protect your metamorphosis. As your crystalline structure forms, your old energetic systems cannot operate at the new frequency. They begin shutting down, resetting, rebooting. Think of it like a spiritual software update. The system must go offline before the upgrade can complete. That is why socializing feels draining. That is why conversations feel heavy. That is why noise feels overwhelming. You are not withdrawing from life. You are being recalibrated for your next level. Chosen one. You may have also noticed that your thoughts are louder lately. The mind tries to keep up with the spirit, but when the spirit shifts frequencies faster than the mind can understand, it creates a temporary mental fog. You may forget things, lose your train of thought, feel overwhelmed by decisions that used to be easy. This is not cognitive decline, this is spiritual expansion. Your mind is not failing you, it is being retuned to receive revelation, not just information. Another intense sign is the sudden emotional sensitivity. You cry unexpectedly, you feel deeply, you get overwhelmed by beauty, kindness, or even silence. This does not mean you are fragile, it means you are spiritually open. When the crystalline body forms, your emotional body becomes a conduit of divine awareness. This is why sunsets feel more sacred, why music hits differently, why certain people's presence feels heavier or lighter than before. You are perceiving with your spirit, not just with your senses. This emotional openness is a precursor to spiritual authority. Only those who feel deeply can carry light deeply. Chosen one. Let me tell you something many never understand. Spiritual elevation attracts spiritual interference. This is the enemy's last attempt to distract, discourage, or delay you before you cross into your next dimension. Old wounds get poked. Unexpected problems arise. The enemy tries to distort your identity, your clarity, your confidence. He hits your mind because he cannot touch your calling. He hits your emotions because he cannot change your destiny. He sends confusion because he cannot stop elevation. But here is the good news. What you are feeling is not an attack that defeats you. It is an attack that reveals you. The enemy always hits hardest right before you rise. If your warfare has intensified, it means your breakthrough is not far, it is near. If your emotions feel unstable, it means your spirit is stabilizing. If your life feels like it is shedding, it means your destiny is emerging. If everything old is crumbling, it means something new is being constructed. Heaven always destroys what was never meant to remain before it builds what is meant to last. Chosen one. The inner war you're fighting is the final contraction before spiritual birth. It may feel overwhelming, but it is also sacred, purposeful, intentional. You are not being attacked, you are being activated. You are not breaking, you are breaking through. You are not losing control, you are stepping into alignment. Chosen one. After every season of inner war, there comes a moment when the atmosphere around you shifts. Something becomes lighter. Something becomes clearer. Something inside you feels as though it has finally unclenched. This moment may not be dramatic. There may be no thunder, no vision, no angelic visitation, yet something unmistakable happens in the invisible realm. The battle within you subsides, and in that silence, the next instruction begins to approach. Heaven never leaves a chosen vessel wandering without direction. The confusion you felt in the battle was never abandonment. It was spiritual noise being cleared out so you could hear what comes next. Divine instruction does not come when your soul is chaotic. It comes when the old patterns have collapsed enough for new frequencies to enter. And now, chosen one, you are entering that hour where heaven begins to speak again. The first sign that divine instruction is near is the sudden sense of spiritual alignment. You may not know what is coming, but you feel the assurance that something is being prepared for you. There is a subtle confidence in your spirit, not based on circumstances, not rooted in logic, but anchored in a knowing beyond your understanding. This knowing is heaven whispering, "Stay ready." This alignment manifests in your daily life in small but powerful ways. You begin noticing that your steps feel more intentional. You find yourself pausing before decisions that you would normally make quickly. You start sensing that certain paths are cold and others are warm, even if you cannot articulate why. This is your crystalline intuition, sharpening your inner radar, calibrating to detect divine timing. Heaven rarely reveals the full assignment at once. Instead, it reveals the next instruction, the next step, the next connection, the next door. And the way it arrives is often gentle. Divine instruction does not shout, it resonates. It feels like an inner pull, an inner nudge, an inner leaning toward a direction that may not make sense logically, but feels spiritually undeniable. Your crystalline awakening ensures that when heaven speaks, your spirit hears clearly. The battle you endured was the clearing away of interference. The exhaustion you felt was the rewiring of your internal system. The emotional eruptions were the flushing out of spiritual toxins. Now, with all that removed, your spirit is receptive again. Another sign divine instruction is arriving is the sudden appearance of synchronicities, patterns, signs, numbers, symbols, repeated themes in conversations or content. The universe begins echoing the same message until you can no longer ignore it. This is heaven's way of saying, "Pay attention, I'm guiding you." These synchronicities are not coincidences, they are coordinates, invitations, mile markers on your spiritual map. Chosen one. When heaven prepares to speak, it often rearranges your environment. You may feel compelled to clean your space, reorganize your life, simplify your routines. This is not mere productivity, it is spiritual positioning. Heaven does not pour new instruction into cluttered spaces or cluttered minds. The urge to bring order into your surroundings is the sign that heaven is about to bring order into your path. And then the instruction comes, not always as words, sometimes as a knowing, sometimes as a realization, sometimes as a sudden clarity that makes you gasp because you recognize the truth instantly. The crystalline version of you does not need long explanations. Truth lands quickly, deeply, and with power. Heaven's instruction always carries three qualities. It aligns, it settles, it activates. You feel alignment because your spirit recognizes the instruction. You feel settling because the instruction brings peace, not confusion. You feel activation because something inside you says, "Move now." This is the hour you are entering. The inner war has prepared you. The restructuring has recalibrated you. The silence has matured you. And now heaven can begin revealing what comes next. Chosen one. One of the greatest marks of spiritual maturity is learning how to move with heaven, not ahead of it, not behind it, but with it. Divine timing is not simply about waiting, it is about alignment, and alignment requires sensitivity, humility, and a deep awareness of the rhythm of the Spirit. When heaven begins revealing the next step, the greatest danger is not missing the instruction, it is mishandling the timing. So many destinies are delayed, not because the person was uncalled, but because the person was uncalibrated. Timing is a language of heaven, and only those whose spirits have been refined and whose crystalline structure has awakened can hear its cues with clarity. You are one of them. Your sensitivity has increased for a reason. Your inner rhythm has slowed for a reason. The way you move now must match the way heaven is guiding you. The first principle of divine timing is stillness before motion. This is why heaven often makes everything feel quiet right before the next step is revealed. It pulls you into a sacred pause, not to stop you, but to synchronize you. You feel the urge to be alone, to think deeply, to disconnect, to breathe. This is not isolation, it is spiritual calibration. Heaven quiets your world so you can hear the subtle nudge that points you toward your next assignment. And then the stirring begins. A restlessness that isn't anxious but expectant. A desire to move, shift, or act that grows quietly but persistently. A feeling that something is gestating inside you and must be released. Chosen one. This stirring is the first sign that heaven is transitioning you out of waiting and into motion. The crystalline self does not respond to logic, it responds to resonance. When heaven says move, your spirit feels it before your mind understands it. That is why, even without external confirmation, something inside you begins to whisper, "It's time." But here is the truth. Few understand. Divine timing requires courage as much as it requires patience. Moving too slowly can be as damaging as moving too quickly, because divine windows open and close with precision. Heaven does not allow stagnation to protect you, and it does not allow impulsiveness to destroy you. Divine timing is a dance. Heaven leads. You follow, but you must follow with willingness, not hesitation. One of the clearest signs that it is time to move is when the old space becomes spiritually too small. Not physically too small, but energetically. Conversations feel limited, your environment feels heavy, your routines feel stale. you begin to sense that you are being pushed out of where you've been. This pressure is not punishment, it is guidance. Heaven does not allow comfort to become confinement for the chosen. Another sign of divine timing is clarity without explanation. Your spirit suddenly knows something that your mind cannot articulate. You know it's time to change direction. You know a person is no longer part of your next chapter. You know a door must be knocked on or closed. This clarity is not logical, it is spiritual, and it is trustworthy because the crystalline self hears heaven's frequency with precision. Divine timing also reveals itself through doors that open with ease. Not because the journey is effortless, but because the alignment is effortless. When it is time, the people you need show up. The resources arrive. The opportunity appears. Conversations align. Ideas flow. Synchronicities multiply. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. And yet, chosen one, you must also discern the opposite doors that remain closed. Some doors do not open no matter how much you push, not because you are unworthy, but because heaven is protecting you. Closed doors are as divine as open ones. They save you from detours. They save you from premature exposure. They save you from rooms that cannot hold your frequency. Understanding divine timing means honoring both the yes and the no. A yes feels like clarity, peace, and alignment, even if fear whispers. A no feels like heaviness, resistance, and spiritual misalignment, even if logic insists. The crystalline body allows you to feel timing, not intellectually, but spiritually. Another mark of divine timing is that your energy returns. After a season of fatigue, you suddenly feel capable again. You feel a spark inside you, creativity, flowing ideas, emerging strength rising in your bones. This is spiritual resurrection. Heaven never calls you to move while you are weak. It strengthens you first. Your renewed energy is not random. It is heaven saying, prepare. Chosen one divine timing is also recognized through the emergence of favor. Not human approval, not popularity, but favor those inexplicable moments when things work for you instead of against you. When people feel drawn to help you without knowing why, when opportunities chase you instead of you chasing them. Favor is always released at the beginning of a new spiritual assignment. It is heaven's way of greasing the wheels of destiny. Chosen one. You are entering a season where divine timing will guide every step you take. The war has prepared you. The cleansing has softened you. The recalibration has sharpened you. Now you must learn to move with heaven not by effort, but by alignment, not by force, but by sensitivity, not by fear, but by faith. Chosen one. Every spiritual awakening carries a material counterpart. Heaven does not elevate your spirit without preparing to elevate your life. And as your crystalline nature strengthens your clarity, your intuition, your discernment, something else begins to move toward you in the unseen realm, divine provision. Not ordinary provision, not survival-level provision, but supernatural resources aligned with destiny, not circumstance. Your crystalline awakening is not only a transformation of consciousness, it is a sign that heaven considers you ready to steward more influence, more opportunity, more responsibility, more abundance. Heaven will never place divine resources into the hands of a fragmented identity. The purification you endured, the inner war, you survived, the emotional shedding you walked through, all of it was heaven making sure your spirit was stable enough to carry the weight of the next blessing. And now, chosen one, that blessing is drawing near. One of the first signs that divine provision is approaching is the sense that your old financial patterns no longer make sense to you. you begin to feel that you cannot remain in the same cycles, the same limitations, the same mindset. You feel a holy dissatisfaction with scarcity, not from greed, but from destiny. Scarcity becomes spiritually unacceptable. Limitations feel foreign. You sense that your life was not designed to operate from survival, but from assignment. Another sign that supernatural provision is approaching is the arrival of ideas, sudden creative bursts, strategies, revelations, concepts or instructions that feel divinely inspired. These ideas come with clarity, urgency, and peace. They feel like they were dropped into your spirit, not pulled from your mind. This is heaven giving you the blueprint for the next chapter, because abundance flows through instruction. Prosperity follows obedience. Provision is always attached to purpose. Listen closely. Heaven will not send wealth to fund your comfort, but it will send wealth to fund your calling. The crystalline soul can sense when an idea carries the fragrance of heaven. It feels light, energizing, expansive. It aligns with your gifts. It resonates with your spirit. This is a sign that the resources for that idea are already being prepared. Destiny never releases a vision without assigning provision. Another major sign is the shift in the people around you. Your circle becomes rearranged by heaven, not by drama, but by design. People who drain you drift away. People who inspire you begin to appear. Conversations change. Opportunities shift. You find yourself drawn to environments that feel wealthy, not because of luxury, but because of frequency. The energy of abundance feels familiar, not foreign. Chosen. One another sign of approaching provision is divine discontent with stagnation. You suddenly feel the urgency to organize your life, clean your space, restructure your habits, refine your discipline. This is not random motivation. It is spiritual preparation. Heaven will not release abundance into disorder. Your sudden desire to get your life in order is heaven signaling, get ready, resources are coming. There is also a shift in your inner language. You stop saying, I hope, and start saying, I know. You stop saying one day and start saying soon. You stop saying I can't and start saying I am becoming. Your thoughts align with possibility. Your emotions align with expectancy. Your spirit aligns with inheritance. This shift attracts divine provision like a magnet. Another powerful sign is the emergence of unexpected favor. People offer opportunities without you asking. Doors open seemingly out of nowhere. Resources arrive through unusual channels. Something moves in your life that you did not initiate. This is heaven touching the hearts of others on your behalf. Provision often comes through human vessels, but the orchestration is divine. Favor is the fingerprint of God on your destiny. There's also the mysterious phenomenon where things that once cost you energy suddenly become effortless. What used to feel heavy becomes light. What used to feel blocked becomes accessible. What once took years now takes weeks. This is what happens when you step into alignment with your divine timeline. Your efforts multiply, your results accelerate, and your opportunities expand with less resistance. Chosen one, let me tell you something deeply important. Supernatural provision always arrives at the exact moment your spirit becomes capable of stewarding it. Chosen one. There comes a moment in every spiritual awakening when everything you have endured, everything you have shed, everything you have learned, and everything you have survived converges into a single spiritual truth. You are no longer who you used to be. The war within you has quieted. The instructions have begun to flow. The provision is drawing near. Now heaven calls you into the final phase of this awakening, the phase where you step fully, unapologetically and courageously into the destiny that your soul has been prepared for. This is the moment where many hesitate, not because they are unworthy, but because they have never seen themselves through heaven's eyes. But you, chosen one, must understand something fundamental. Your new season requires a new posture. You cannot walk into abundance with the posture of someone who survived scarcity. You cannot carry spiritual authority with the mindset of someone who once doubted their worth. You cannot steward divine resources with the energy of someone still apologizing for their calling. You must rise as who you have become, not who you were. The crystalline awakening inside you has refined your identity. You have been emptied so you can be filled, broken open so you can expand, stripped so you can carry what is sacred. Now, the question is not what comes next, but who will you be as it comes? The first step in stepping into your new destiny is protecting your light. Not everyone can access you in this season. Not everyone can walk with you. Not everyone can understand the frequency you now carry. Your energy is precious. Your clarity is sacred. Your spirit is valuable. You must guard it with intention. This does not mean you become cold or distant. It means you become discerning. You choose what enters your atmosphere. You choose what influences your peace. You choose who gets close enough to touch what heaven is building inside you. You cannot pour from a vessel that is constantly being drained. You cannot rise while holding the hands of those who refuse to grow. You cannot heal while surrounded by those who love your wounds but fear your transformation. Protecting your light is not selfish, it is spiritual obedience. The second step is activating your authority. The crystalline soul is not passive. It does not wait timidly for validation. It does not need permission. It moves with conviction because it knows its divine origin. You have authority now, authority over your decisions, your boundaries, your purpose, your voice, your path. Heaven will not force you to use it. Authority unused becomes power wasted. You must speak differently, walk differently, decide differently, show up differently, expect differently. You must embody the truth that heaven has invested in you. Authority is activated not by arrogance, but by alignment. You step into your destiny not by shouting, but by knowing, not by striving, but by resonating, not by forcing, but by flowing. Authority is the quiet strength of someone who knows who sent them. The third step in stepping into your destiny is moving boldly when provision arrives. Many people pray for abundance but freeze when it comes because they have never prepared themselves to step into opportunity. But you are not many people. You are the chosen one. Heaven will not release abundance to someone who cannot move. So when doors open, do not hesitate. When opportunities appear, do not shrink. When connections arrive, do not hide. Your crystalline awakening has given you the intuition to recognize what is aligned and what is not. Move when the door opens. Speak when the moment arrives. Act when the spirit nudges. Boldness is not loud. Boldness is being fully present in the moment heaven has created for you. Another crucial truth: abundance must be protected spiritually before it is protected financially. Your new resources, whether ideas, wealth connections, or opportunities, must be shielded from environments that cannot steward them. Not everyone can handle the weight of your breakthrough. Not everyone can celebrate your rising. Not everyone can be trusted with what heaven is placing in your hands. To protect your abundance, you must guard your vision until it is strong enough to stand. Surround yourself with people who expand you, not diminish you. Discern who carries honor and who carries envy. Build your life with intention, not reaction. Trust your intuition. Your crystalline compass never lies. Provision is not only a blessing, it is a responsibility. Divine wealth demands divine wisdom. Supernatural opportunity demands supernatural maturity. Finally, stepping into your destiny requires embodiment. It is not enough to know you are chosen, you must live like you are chosen. You must become the version of yourself that heaven has been shaping in silence. Destiny is not a destination, it is an identity. And you are now ready to embody the identity that the inner war forged, that the awakening revealed, that the silence refined, and that the provision will support. Chosen one, your life is shifting from preparation into activation. You have crossed a threshold in the spirit. The version of you that stands now is radiant, aligned, awakened, crystalline. You have been purified for purpose, strengthened for stewardship, elevated for assignment. This is the moment heaven has been preparing you for. This is the sound of your destiny, calling your name. This is the hour where everything you survived becomes everything you carry. Stand tall, walk forward, move with authority, protect your light, honor your calling, and step into the abundant, luminous, divine timeline that was written for you before the foundations of the world. Your awakening was not the end, it was the beginning. You are ready now, chosen one. Rise and take your place. Chosen one. As we come to the close of this sacred moment, let your spirit breathe deeply. You did not arrive here by chance. Heaven drew you, aligned you, and awakened you for such a time as this. Your crystalline transition is not only a sign of inner evolution, it is evidence that a supernatural transfer has already begun flowing toward you. What is shifting in your body is also shifting in your path. What is activating within your cells is activating within your destiny. Anointed One, you are standing in your Kairos moment, the moment where heaven's timing and your readiness finally meet. Do not take this lightly. This is the hour where clarity replaces confusion, where light replaces heaviness, where divine instruction replaces wandering. The same light that is restructuring you from within is preparing doors, connections, and blessings in the realm around you. Walk forward with reverence. Stand firm in alignment. Hold fast to the frequency of truth, purity, and expectancy. Everything you survived has positioned you, strengthened you, and refined you for the blessings that are about to manifest. Your journey is holy. Your transformation is real. Your next chapter is already unfolding. Chosen one. If this message stirred your spirit, speak it into the comments below. Declare your readiness. Seal your alignment. Share this word so another awakening soul can rise into their moment. And if this sanctuary resonates with you, I invite you gently, reverently to subscribe and walk with us on this path of light. Go now in clarity, in strength, and in divine power. Your ascension is underway, your inheritance is near, and heaven walks with you.